Be'ez Hashem Parashas Emor, Tavshin Pei Hey. The famous question in Bitochen, when a person does you a favor, so we know there's a concept of Hakoras HaTov. You should acknowledge it. You should thank him. You should have the feeling, bemis, of wanting to thank him. The question is, if we believe that the Eibishter made it happen, and it has nothing to do if that person wanted or didn't want, and then the song Ribono Elokim Yodati, that tefillah, Rameir Apta, it says that if the Eibishter wants a good thing to happen to me, it'll happen, no matter what. The Eibishter doesn't want, and it won't happen. And nobody could mix in and interfere into the Ribono Shem's Rotzen. So what's this Hakoras HaTov business? Then we're busy. We don't want to be talking to someone does you something wrong. It has nothing to do with him. It has nothing to do with him. Have no feelings. Elokim only kalel. That's what the chinuch says on leisikim leisitor. So now, flip flop. So he did the good thing, and he comes over to you and he says, "I just wanted to tell you, I'm the guy that arranged it." He says, "And I just want to tell you that it has nothing to do with you." And he comes to the Kirvas Levovus, he shows him. He says, "Go on the Shetamah there. Why? What's wrong?" That's the emes. That's the question. And the person has to have clarity in the answer. What was the mice? So the beginning of the answer is that a person has to learn the skill of Hakoras HaTov in order to be able to have Hakoras HaTov towards the Ribono Shel Olam. So that's the beginning of the answer. That's what the Eibishter says. Someone did something good to you. You should have those feelings of, wow, I really, really appreciate it. And you were mated with me now. I wish I could return a toiva. And then that develops in the person the real Hakoras HaTov towards the Ribono Shel Olam. That's the beginning of the answer. The Duvidal Tolna, he once gave a little stone to someone. He said, "What's the stone?" He said, "I did you a toiva." And the derech olam is that if you do a toiva, so when that guy goes and he does you roa tachas toiva, he throws stones. So I think you don't throw stones on me, so I'll give you a small one, so you could, so I could get hit by a small stone. It means there's a human nature that doesn't want to be makar toiv, shum oifen, and there's a reason for it. It's psychological. It's not stam. Human nature doesn't want to be makar toiv because then I have to remind myself of the vulnerable matzav I was in. I have to go back to that place and be that little child that does not. It's like asking for help. I don't want to be that guy. So when a person's asking for help, sometimes it's embarrassing, sensitive stuff. They really need help and it's embarrassing. But what could I do? They need help and they go and they help themselves and they get help. They don't want to go back and remind themselves that they're little lo yutzlach in all kinds of interesting situations. So a person doesn't want to be makar tov. So if you go and you exercise Hakoras HaTov towards people, what's going to happen is a person could bench and be'emes feel that bench them. You gave me bread and ich dank the be'emes. But if not, then you don't have the feelings of be'emes benching when you say Birchas Hamazon. But Victor Miller always used to say, he said, if you're not thanking your parents, your benching is not really counted. In the sense of that, if you have the feeling, then you're going to do it to the ones it's a whole chain, like the people that help you. If you don't have those feelings, then you don't have it. So that's the beginning of the answer. What's the problem with that if we stay only with that answer? That it seems to us the Kilu Bem is fake, but it's a good mahalach, like hechshe mitzvah. It means I need to do Hakoras HaTov to someone. So I have a guy in the street. Let's say the guy didn't do me a toiva. You start thanking him. The guy says, "You met the wrong guy. I'm not that person." You say, "Who cares? I'm trying to learn how to be a makar tov to the Ribono Shel Olam." Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to walk over. You say, why is it funny? So what's a chilik? What's a chilik? This guy, the one that did the toiva, and it's tam a fremde guy in the gas. There's no difference. So again, there is a Muslim ganges of the Isaac. Was hat das mit mir? It has nothing to do with me. The Chavis always brings some ganges of the Isaac when he talks about a Koras HaToiv. He mentions it. So it could use a little bit of a better Havana, which could help us. So let's say a simple answer. A Yid has a Chelik L'Kamimal. So there's a little bit Eibishter. There's a Lakus. There's a fire in the person which is coming from above, which is the Shechina. So when that person helps you, the inner chelik of that person helped you. The chelik lekami mal was now using the midas hachesed towards you. Having a koras hatov to that person is the beginning of having a koras hatov towards the Rebbeinu Shalom right now. I'm having a koras hatov to the Shechina. That person couldn't have done it itself. It happened because the Eibishter used him. Who's him? Him is the neshama. So Bazoi, I'm doing something real. I'm being zach mesiachas to the chelik emes, and that chelik emes is that the Eibishter helped me in such a form, in such a way. That's my way of thanking the Eibishter. That's the emes what goes on here. When every time a person gets a toiva. And this is a broader topic. It's not only towards the sugi of Makoros HaToiv. Think about it. The Chazal say that a person has to be mechabed over v'imoy like the Rebbeinu Shalom. Hishve HaKasuv, moire that a person is supposed to have towards the parents, and moire from the Eibishter. And the Gemara says in Masechtas Kiddushin that you see by the Rebbe also moire Rabba K'moire Shamayim, and you see that Rabbi Yosef called his mother Eku Mekami Shechina. When his mother walked in and get up for the Shechina. Every time a person has a mahalach, that through that sinor I'm getting my shefa. If it's parents, if it's a rav, sometimes it could be a friend that's helping you. But the shefa is coming through that person. So what's really happening is that you're supposed to see through all these levushim, all these covers that it looks like it's MSM. It's the Eibishter throughout this whole mahalach journey. That's what's happening to me right now. Again. The interesting Shem Shmuel, the Shem Shmuel in Parshas Kiseitze, the Ben Soyer Moira, it says in the Gemara Masechtas Sanhedrin that if the parents are moichlem, then he doesn't get killed. So the Shem Shmuel, I don't understand. What's a Ben Soyer Moira? He was stealing from his parents, and the Chazal say that the reason he gets killed, he didn't do something that is mechuyev misa. He didn't kill anybody. He's nereg al shem soifoi. He gets killed because we say if he's stealing at this age, he's going to be killing people at the intersection, at the Parashas Drochim. So who cares if the parents are moichelem? It's not malam moired. He did the same avla. It's public danger. You got to get him out of the way. It didn't change anything that the parents are moichelem. So the Shemesh will fascinating yisoid. He says, I want to ask you another question. Why do we kill someone that's going to be because he's going to one day kill others? Maybe he's going to do tshuva. Okay, wait out. Let's see how it plays out. So the mice is as well. A person is connected through his parents to the Ovas HaKadosh. It goes to say that if you are good with your parents, if you have a relationship with your parents, it goes up, all the way until the Ovas HaKadosh, till Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. And Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov give the koyach for a person to do tshuva. So usually, a person did something that they're not supposed to be doing, they're going to come around. Give it a little bit, they're going to come back. Why? Because that koyach of tshuva, there's a tziner going all the way down. But Ben Soyer and Moira got messed up with his parents. So what happened was that he now doesn't have, he's not connected to above. So that's why he's not Hashem Sefer, because it's not going to change. He's coming back. And the Shem Shmuel in Parshas Kisei is a fascinating shtickle, because it's Torah which guides parents that are struggling with children. You don't understand what you're doing when in your heart you have a hava to them. That's it. We're not talking about the do's and don'ts, the most complicated matzah. We're talking about stam. It's messed up, and a lot of times there's so much baggage and trauma that it's so hard. So we have to work on it slowly, but to get to a place that there should be that tzina is open. That tzina is open. That's very, very important. Back to our sugya, he mentioned the Shem Shmuel, because we were saying when a person gets shefa, it's not about I needed a car and he gave me a car. Sometimes we look at it, he's such a nice guy, this neighbor, always, whenever I need him. Sometimes people have money, they get stuck when it's like a little shtickle, the squeeze, they need to have 50,000, a person that could always give it to me from one day to the next, he's always there for me. That's not the name of the story. The name of the story is that the Rebbeinu Shalom is sending you shefa. And the people that are being used on the way are part of the story. When you're recognizing it, when you're thanking, be'etzim, you're connected to the Rebbeinu Shalom. I'm talking be'etzim to the Eibishter, and it's true, because it's like a tzimtzum. You ever had a matzav that a person does you a toiva, and you thank him, and they say, no, I was just giving it over. It's not really me, it's really... So say, okay,
Postman.
Yeah, I'm the postman. So what do you tell that guy? Oh, so tell him that I be'emes appreciate it. The chat is, I'm using you to express my feelings. I appreciate so much, but you're the one that I met. So I'm telling it to you, but really I mean the source of it. But that's how I know. That's very good. That it strengthens the Akasha with the Rebbeinu Shalom right now. It's not a separate zach, not a game. That's how you know the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's one of the reasons why a real Talmud from a Rav means, if it's for real, that means he's learning and he's steiging and he's connecting to the Rebbeinu Shalom, will have that feeling towards the Rav as like something out of this world. They use the term, he's like God for him. But what's the pshat? The pshat is because that's my connection to the Rebbeinu Shalom. That's how I know the Eibishter. He's the one that introduced me, and he gave me that feeling. So I feel that feeling towards that person. The person feels the Rebbeinu Shalom. I feel a moiridige feeling towards the person that gave me the opportunity of feeling Hashem. So when that's what Chazal say, you should have moire rabach, and you should act with a gewaldige kovod and a moire and all that. Why? Because you're supposed to preserve it. You're supposed to keep it that way. It's important. This is the yesod. Now, when a person is an interesting zach, when it comes to the sugis of bitochen and hakaras hatoiv, you could see that it's the same type of people that are going to do both. And Be'etzim looks like two separate zachen. Bitochen people, that's between them bein and koino. When they come to shul and someone passed them the tissues and all that, it's a separate sugi, it's midas. We would sometimes look at it in a way that it's not our shita. We're busy with this mitzvah. Then it's a different shul, they have beautiful midas, like manners and alts, but I'm busy with bitochen. If you look at Hashazach between people, you'll see that it's not like that. The people that have this emunah b'tochen to the Rebbeinu Shalom, when someone gave them the tissues, they get nispol. They get the Hashazach nispol. Forget about a thanking. Like, wow, you see, I needed the tissue box, it came. Who brought it to me? They wished it. So they feel it, they come over and they say, wow, it's so nice of you. But it's coming from a whole different place. And the biggest raya is when it's challenging. When it's only a person that's really, he has all the social skills. A person that has all the social skills, then it's only when es stimmt. whenever they're done with the social world and they become back, Eish Lahova. But if it's the my spilas came from a different place, let's explain that. When does a person be'emes thank? When it comes from a good place, I mean from a deep place in the heart. When a person was touched. When a person is touched, they have the feeling, I have to pick up a phone. If they do it, there's not a noise. But that's the first nakuda. If a person had his spilus, he was, how do you say his spilus? Moved, touched, moved. That means something inside me, I felt a strong feeling of wow, of hatova. Someone's being mated with me now. Someone's being so nice to me. People sometimes say, oh, like 10 years later, I can't forget. I was in this vulnerable spot. Someone came over. Mom was like a malach. Why are you calling it a malach? He was still a nice guy. What's the pshat? There's a spilus of that, like it's from above. I could be touched, stam, because thank you so much, I needed it so badly. And I could feel there's a hechere koyach that just was helping me. Even if it's a person. If a person is trying to live with a Emunah B'tochen and they see how things are orchestrated from above, they feel it. So their hispilus, what they want to thank is Be'etem.
So Sama says that's why they bench on a kazayas, and even though it's not a kedetzik, even though it's not a kedetzik, because the spilus that Kosh Baruch Hu is giving this to me is enough to bring that madrega that can bench.
The Gemara is a famous kasha in the Gemara. The Gemara is to Masechtas Brochas. That why is the Eibishter noisy ponim for us? That means that not the Eibishter goes with the Yiddish Kinder, not always exactly with the Midas Adin. This can give us extra credit to Tova. The Malach HaShoyos asked that question, and the Eibishter says, well, I told him to bench only when it's Vesavot, when they're really satisfied. And they bench even when they eat a little piece at kazayis, at kabeya. The Mefarshim say, but 1 second, who says you're allowed to bench? It's very nice that you want to bench when you eat a little piece of bread, but I don't know if you're allowed to bench. So like this Vasem is that it's halacha dig. It says v'savota. What does v'savota mean? The person feels satisfied. Usually it's a certain amount of how much he ate. But if a person has deepest rakshus from something, then they could it adds a satisfaction. Fancy places, they give this gorgeous plates with setups and there's nothing there. You know, you go to like a Hamish, you put chont and kishka. There's no setup. It has to do. The pshat is, if you're being served and everything is so exact and so moedic, you're already uplifted by the hagasha. The presentation, it's in common mino ifanim. Zog this Vasem is they were at kedei svia, they were so overwhelmed with gratitude to the Rebbeinu Shlem, they're giving me lechem, that they only ate kazayis at kabeya, and they were allowed to bench. They were supposed to be benching. So moediges Vasem is.
According to this malach, if a goy does me a favor, anybody else is also supposed to have a kursa tov. Avada.
But the Yamsov, you see Akaras HaToiv towards the Doimim, you see Akaras HaToiv, what's the pshat? Very simple. Very, very simple. Because I never meant, we always wonder, Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't allowed to hit he doesn't have any feelings. No. Very simple. Very, very, very simple. This helped me, and the source of it was the Rebbeinu Shalom. When I come to Baruch She'aseh L'nezim V'Makom Hazeh, I don't want to forget it. I want to live it. Akaras HaTov is always that I want to be a mensch. It's not about having rachmonas on that person, being nice and telling him thank you. So it goes together with bitochen. The real Emunah B'tochen understands that's the reason why. This takes us to the next shlav. That's the reason why when a person has Akaras HaTov from that place, it's such an easy task to have Akaras HaTov towards the people that are roidefing you. people that are doing bad, people that are roidefing you. Why? There's so many mices of tzaddikim that they were busy giving them toiv. Reb Shai Kristir was sending money, so there's a whole family, a whole store of people that were mamish talking against him and doing terrible things. And he used to send them every week money on Ashir. The biggest envelopes went to those families, and a lot of tzaddikim, chazanish, and they're very busy with it. The Tosha Rebbe, a fascinating ma'aseh. When he was in Montreal, he moved to Tosh because it wasn't working out in the city. Also, he didn't want the city life. They lived there in the Manhattan, like the one street of Montreal. That's the worst. That's exactly where the Hamish Adam lives. So it says in the Aracham HaKodesh. I just saw it. It's always going to be like that. There's a whole Welt there. By Kamai says it says it in one way, but in a different sefer, I think it's Aracham HaKodesh as well. It says it mamash clear that Yiddish Kinder will always be living in the most. You could see today. There's a world out there. Where are the Elokim? Where are the Hamishim? In the most sophisticated places. There's no one in Africa. Nothing going on there. There's Los Angeles. You have to be in LA, right? 20 minutes from Hollywood, and then there has to be in Manhattan, Williamsburg, like touching. It has to be like that. And in Montreal, if you go visit the city of the Hamish, there's uptown and downtown, but you go there, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The ganze Welt. This is where the Olam has to live. So that's how you saw it. The Kaponim and Tosha Rebbe, before he moved away, he had the Difus. And someone went, and he was toiling in the mikveh, and he took a wooden board, and he put it on top. He shouldn't be able to get up. And he was suffocating. He almost died. The last second, I don't know exactly what happened, but that guy went and he took it away. Now his whole life, he was busy being marketed with that person because he saved his life because he took away the board. That's a Gwenda Maisa. True story. He used to send him and help him. There you get out with my lamb. Now we look at it was so far, like it doesn't make any sense. But if a person chaps that Hakaras HaTov is from the Mekor HaTov, that means I saw something happen. He just was the shliach to help me do something with myself. He's the one that the Eivisha sent me that I should become a better Yid. So even if it's the other way, I have feelings towards that person because it's doch l'toiv. The Eivisha hat ihm geschickt ins l'toiv. So it's a gewend da toiv. So I want to give appreciation. I must feel it.
Aside on this person with the board, probably also was taken over and was quite a achiever.
Could be. Now, the Be'emes Ve'em is a question which a lot of people ask this question. And they get stuck by this. After everything, when someone's doing toiv, you're telling me that I have to acknowledge and appreciate and have feelings towards. And when it's the opposite, you're saying it had nothing to do with him. The missing that you asked in the beginning of the shir. Is it him or isn't it him? The fee what we're learning, there's a very simple answer. It's the Eivish the whole time. So there's nothing bad happened. It looks bad. Right now it's tough. I got you. There's a tsar right now. But l'maisa, it has a cheshbon. L'maisa it's l'tov. So because of that, I should be now noiter, sin and ra. That makes no sense. It has nothing to do with the person ever. It's always the Rebbeinu Shalom and it's always toiv. So when the person is doing something, I feel hergeshem klapet Eibishter. And the way I'm doing it is expressing it to this person. Having a spilus that this guy set me up. And there's a lot of people that they say it. That someone just told me like nine married children, and he used to think 8 of them were Talmidei Chachamim, and one is a little bit different. Let's call it that way. Leather jacket, v'chulei. He learns k'viyasitim. He said, I used to think these are my 8 children. Then I have another one, whatever. He said, then, because of him, I'd steig the most. The bottom line is I had to work out the inner. He said, this is my Yankee. The other ones are nicht. This doesn't the mensch. He made me who I am. A long time ago, we said this story. I heard it from Kirvas with the details at the Smith left. That there was a young man in Williamsburg that they told him about his boy that he's ADHD and all the other letters also. There's nothing doing, and he's nothing doing. He was like 11, 12-year-old, no point. So to send him to London, I think you have a yeshiva there, which meant continue on your life, and whatever happens, Ahmed, what are you going to do now? He said, I'm not sending my boy to London. It's my boy. So what am I going to do? I'm taking him with me. Whatever I do, he wakes him up 6 o'clock in the morning, come to shul, I give you books, I don't care, you're with me. I go to work, he helps me, I work. This is my child, okay? He's gonna be my helper. Now it takes a lot, emotion and sometimes busyness and bechlal for yishvadas. But this is what the guy did. So someone told me that Baruch Hashem, he got older, he got married. So very, very nice, young man. Say that. Someone walks over to him in shul and he says, I don't believe it. This is your Moshe? So he didn't say it like that. He says, this is Dan Tzaddik. You know what he answered? He said, no, ich bin Zan Tzaddik. And this is such a deep answer. That's not good. Only problem someone that went through this could answer like that. That means, who was teaching? Who went through a journey now? Him or me? Who was Machai? Look at me. I'm a yid and a person that could do that. A person gets old and stuff, what it means raising children. When it gets later on, they get what it means, what inner work it takes. That's a yid. Those are yid. People look around in shul. If only we would chap with what kind of kelim to mest. Was heißt a yid? It's so simple. You don't have to wait upstairs to see al yoyna lamata b'tachtona lamala. It's so simple. I remember a story. Talking to a person, first-hand Maisa, not long ago. A person was married, second marriage, and it took in 3 daughters of hers when they were little girls. Raised them, gave them, and then married off the first one, but took both sides. The other side didn't have to give. Financially, emotionally, the ganze hakkel bakkel from married off, and then she went behind his back to her real father and spoke against Nishmashana. Let's not get into the gory details of it. And now he's on to marrying of the second one. With a geschmack. Now, you know what the Sefer Torah wird jetzt in the sky. The person is giving royal. You know what Yiddishkeit is happening right now? People don't chap who in the shul the Shechina is shoyre, but it's not so complicated. If you start chapping what it entails and what's a midas and what's a bittel and what's a chesed, it's mamash fascinating. It's so masaras roish if you think about it. But kaporim back to Linyoneinu, that's the avoid of a person to be such type of a person. It brings a munah, it's bitochen, it's a koras hatoiv, it's the ganze Sach. It comes to say back to what we were up to. It's all Hashem. When I'm having feelings towards Him, but that's my way of expressing it today, right now as I'm talking to Him. Because I'm chapping, I'm getting emotional because I'm seeing it in front of my eyes. Now it's only toiv. So I see toiv. Now if a person's the madrig of the Tosher Rebbe, he could see toiv in such a case. He could ever see toiv, and when he sees the toiv, he means it when he makes a chorus at toiv. I made his behemoth. But why? Because he became Tosher Rebbe in the end. Look what happened. Such stories make it Tasha Rebbe. When you don't, it doesn't just happen from sich allein. It's a kaponim. It's a big avoid. But slowly, if a person realizes what they're thinking about the other, it could help you build that clarity in this sugya. The notes from the Rebbeinu Shalom and have good feelings towards usually what happens is people connect feelings to a matziv, to a nisoyan, to a situation, but not the right feelings. Like trauma. That means if while that person was giving me bread, someone was embarrassing me, so I only remember that it was horrible. So what we do is we experience Zachen the way we feel B'Shas Ma'aseh, and then it's labeled that was bad. So it was this person is bad. But it's not Amos. It wasn't bad. The perception wasn't richtig then B'Shas Ma'aseh. So you felt it's bad. So now you want to return. It's an interessante Sach. If a person felt he got toiv, he wants to return toiv. It's avoida, but it's a munu b'tochen avoida, and that's where you become a koros atoiv abeide weg. Okay.